Did you do that?
Wow! That is the neatest looking box. I've got some of these boxes in my loft, but they're all a bit dog-eared because they've been used and they've been stored, but this is in brilliant condition.
It's
yes.
from about 1994.
So I personally wrote all the code on that. Did you get involved in that? And then we did that one between us.
Yeah, mostly yours, that one.
Yeah, so I did the Go Dizzy Go. Love doing that. Andrew and me did Super Robin Hood between us, with Khalid Carmoon doing the graphics and Khalid Carmoon doing the graphics, and Lyndon Sharp doing all the music for both of those.
These were written by...
This is Peter Williamson's game. Peter and his brother Andrew
Supersonic
Williamson.
Software.
And this could have been the Focus Brothers.
Could have been, yeah.
But I'm not sure about Boomerang Kid. Could have been the Focus Brothers. So that looks awesome. Yeah, so these were only sold in America. This was through a company called Comerica. And unfortunately, Comerica went bust just after this came out. It was because of the Aladdin. This was about the time of the Aladdin coming out. And Comerica was tied up in legal actions with various people. They produced lots of Aladdins. And unfortunately...
And the Game Genie.
And the Game Genie, they were responsible for distribution of the Game Genie. And unfortunately, yeah, Comerica went bust. So, in fact, a lot of these... Hello, you've got a yellow cartridge. What's that all about?
So this is
okay, that's not...
That isn't a real cartridge.
This is a Famicom cartridge, apparently made in Taiwan by PIC, which was a Comerica thing.
So,
I mean, at the end of the day, there's a big ROM chip on these things.
Yeah, there's a big ROM chip and a couple of ROMs and the...
so they would have just sucked a ROM and put a ROM onto a new cartridge and...
put it into their own plastic casing.
The thing is, apparently it is licensed.
What is licensed?
The cartridge.
Well, it's not, because, well, for a start, they don't pay us royalties or Codemasters.
Yeah,
there's no way Codemasters would have allowed that to happen with them knowing about it. And Nintendo would never have allowed this to happen, because these are not Nintendo. They work on the Nintendo machine, but they're not officially licensed for the Nintendo.
The funny thing about this box is it's actually edited. In the copyrights, you still see the original games that were on it that are not on this compilation. Like,
Spacehead. That is Pete's game.
Right.
Oh, that's Pete's game.
So that got removed, cut out from the cover, and replaced with. I'm pretty sure it was Go Dizzy Go, because it was a different Dizzy game. Yeah, Treasure Island Dizzy was there originally, and that got replaced by Go Dizzy Go. And Spacehead, I think,
Treasure Island Dizzy didn't actually look that good compared with the others. Treasure Island Dizzy.
No, it wasn't Treasure Island. It was the other one, Yokefolk. The Yokefolk was done on the small.
No, I wasn't thinking that. Right. But Andrew Graham was given the job at Codemasters of reverse engineering the Nintendo. So he started writing Treasure Island Dizzy. That's because he put Treasure Island Dizzy onto the Amiga and ST. That's the other game he wrote. So he started writing Treasure Island Dizzy, but he never finished it. And the reason he never finished it is because he actually started doing the Game Genie. So he's the guy that wrote the code for the Game Genie. So Treasure Island Dizzy wasn't a finished game. It was most of the way, but then we took over and we started producing Robin Hood and Fantastic Dizzy and Go Dizzy Go and all these other games, which were actually a lot higher quality. So somebody obviously decided to switch them out.
The key point that you're talking about is you fooled us, because we recognise that. We recognise all the games.
Well, except that one wasn't supposed to be there, but you fooled me.
Yeah, but they've never been in that combination. And the Go Dizzy Go was probably an Aladdin game.
It was.
Yeah, and the
Treasure Island
switched
it in.
And yes, so they've been swapping them around, but just copied the
I hadn't noticed that.
So basically, there is no way this is in any way licensed, even behind anybody's backs.
No, not at all.
I doubt it.
No, there was Codemasters would not have allowed a third party to have produced that. They just wouldn't have done. We didn't know about it, so we weren't included.
Yeah, but we had left Codemasters.
Comerica had gone bust at this point when this would have been done, because this is a copy of Comerica's box. But Comerica put this out, and within a few months they were bust. So I guess this Taiwanese company, or whoever produced this, thought, well, these guys aren't coming after us. I'm surprised those guys didn't go after them. On the other hand, Codemasters were preoccupied with Nintendo and Sega at the time.
This is very surprising, because this...
I don't know. Right, you're supposing that there's no way it did happen, but we do know of a couple of deals that went around about that time over in the East. There were various deals done. We wrote one of the games that we wrote when we left Codemasters was Glover, and we wrote that for Hasbro. And I remember. Well, no, hang on. No,
originally the N64, then it took a year to convert from the N64 across to the PlayStation 1, because it was very successful on the N64.
But
so it was on the PS1.
It was something where they just they licensed it over to a Far East company, and they had licensed it on a one-off deal because it came through on our royalty statement. We could see this like big payment that came through. I think it was on Glover, and they said, "Oh, we'd given permission for them to sell it in the East." So there wasn't a royalty per copy. It was an open license to do what they wanted with it. That happened on Glover, and I heard of a few other deals whereby Western games had just been flogged over, and so long as they never came back.
So this is very interesting.
Because it was on a royalty statement. Do you remember? There was,
I have all the royalty statements.
Yeah,
they're all in middle.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if.
But I don't think
if they did a one-off deal.
But Codemasters told us several times that they got hooky game genies, hooky cartridges.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. They did say the East
every now and
full
then.
of piracy.
Yeah. So they. I mean, so to be honest, I suspect this is just a pirate company basically producing these and hoping that Codemasters don't go after them. Well, remember back in those days before the internet and everything else, it would have been quite hard for Codemasters to even know that it was on sale in Poland.
And then, who do you chase? It's clearly produced by Codemasters.
Yeah, who are you going to go and sue?
It's like there is no other company name on it, so to try to work out who actually made it would be pretty hard. You'd have to go into a shop and say who sold this,
who sold this to you?
Yeah, which distributor? They go back to the distributor
and they say who sold it to you.
And they're not going to necessarily want to tell you, are they? Because they all know that it's not licensed. They all know it's going to be trouble.
So why would they tell you? Yeah. But that's really interesting. Yes, we've not seen that before, so that's
you thought you had.
Fantastic.
There's a second one of these as well, but that one has Micro Machines, Ultimate Stuntman.
Oh, Micro Machines was ace.
Yeah.
That started life as Grand Prix Simulator.
Right.
Yeah.
Got renamed. It was Grand Prix Simulator for a while. That was written by Andrew Graham. And he did an awesome job. The Micro Machines are awesome.
Right. I think we should wrap it up there.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for
Well,
coming
thank you
with that.
very much.
Thanks.